Hi, everyone. Today, I'm super happy to welcome Luis Rodrigues. Hi, Luis. How are you?
Hello, all good, all good. Thank you for having me.
You're much welcome. So you are currently the head of product Middle East of Lab49, but you've been in AI pretty much forever. And you've even had a company in AI, a bank, a digital bank in Africa. So you know the topic, if I may say. And the reason why I invited you today, I wanted to talk about the future of jobs. It is the elephant in the room, pretty much. Like everyone, when we talk about the risks of AI, etc., the number one question that comes up is always like, what's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to the future of my teenagers? And yeah, what is it going to look like for me in the future? And the big thing with AI today, this revolution with jobs, is like it impacts pretty much any type of job. So not only admin jobs, but as well like technical jobs, data jobs, etc. So let's talk about this today. To start with, I wanted to hear it from you about your feeling about the situation. What do you think is right? What do you think is wrong? Is there really going to be a lot of job lost? The answer for me is yes, but I would love to hear from you
Yeah,
on this.
yeah. So it's interesting because if you think about it, we are in the industrial revolution that is changing very much how we're used to doing things in our world. And I don't want to be a Luddite, I don't want to be the one saying, "Oh, let's destroy mechanical looms and they're all wrong and it's terrible and whatnot." The reality is things are shifting, and
Yeah.
this is shifting at a way that people are not used to. Because it's impacting everything. It's impacting knowledge professions. It's impacting creatives. It's impacting basic jobs, basic menial jobs. So if you think about, let's think about consulting. In the consulting world, you used to have this pyramid of junior people and senior people, and the junior people used to do a lot of the work, right? They need to copy paste stuff into Excel, and you have to create these magical models, and you would sell time and materials to your clients.
Yeah.
This is shifting because today, as an example, I was doing an analysis the other day for my newsletter, and I downloaded all my LinkedIn articles and how it converts and how they connect to conversion to my newsletter. And I started doing a pivot table and then analysis. And then I thought, why am I being
Yeah.
stupid, right? You load that into Gemini, you ask it, please analyze this, tell me what type of articles convert better to my newsletter.
And it does even better.
It does even better.
Yeah.
It calculated all the statistics, it calculates everything. So it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah. So you're talking about consulting, but according to you, what are the top jobs that may be impacted?
I think everybody will be impacted. Think about it. So if we can start from, let's start. When people say AI means many things, right?
Yeah.
AI is an umbrella that has been around for 50 plus years. Look at self-driving cars. Self-driving cars are almost there.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. Elon Musk keeps saying it's tomorrow. It will come. It will come. It will come very, very soon, especially because the type of technology that is used today with the Transformers architecture that they are using, that the Chinese are using, it starts understanding because it's learning from videos. So let's look at those. Those last mile delivery, that's going to disappear.
Yeah.
Taxi drivers are going to disappear. Trucks are going to disappear. Then what people don't think is second order effects of these things. Let's look at all these truck drivers that they move and they need to stop at night and they need to sleep in a location somewhere. And that little town, the economy is based on the truck drivers that sleep there. Then what happens?
Yeah.
I've seen this in Portugal. We have there was a motor that was created, and there was a very famous place called Mimosa where people used to stop from Lisbon to the Algarve, where I come from the south. The motor we created was created. I stopped there, a few months ago. There was nothing in that place anymore, and it was a massive town that everybody used to stop on the way to the Algarve. So now imagine this happening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
In many places. I say America because America is famous for their truckers, but the rest of the world uses trucks everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's an impact. So self-driving stuff will impact.
Yeah.
Think about menial work, right? This analytics stuff. Like think about an analyst from random consulting company or an analyst just get out of university and your job is analyze Excel files. Why would a company pay for you to analyze Excel files? What they want you is to add value on top of that. But the analysis itself, look, a pivot table.
Yeah.
Why would you spend minutes learning how to do pivot tables?
Yeah.
The thing would do it.
It raises a lot of questions. I'm just jumping on this data analyst thing because if you talk to students, there's so many people that they just like started studying, let's say 3 years ago, and they want to become data analyst, which is quite a recent job. Like when,
Yes.
10, 15 years ago, data analyst was like the new trendy job.
Yeah.
So they are starting and they are going to finish in probably 2 years and this job is not going to exist. So they're I talk a lot about this generation. For me, that is a bit sacrificed because they arrive, they are being trained on all the like sort of old school jobs, like all our jobs, and they come on the market and there is no place for them. So what do you, if we only focus on like the junior level, all people that you say like make analysis, do all the manual work, etc., etc., what's going to happen to them? Like they finished their study, none of the company wants to hire them because they are juniors, and we don't need anyone doing basic analysis and learning the job like this. So what are they going to do?
It's a great question, and I'm lucky enough not to be the
Yeah,
in
I
the
feel the
government
same.
and have to solve this.
Yeah,
Because
or to be the person
or
actually
to be the
trying to
person,
find a
or to
job.
be the person, which is very bad. I keep seeing
Yeah.
people on Instagram saying, "Look, I cannot find a job."
Yeah,
And I'm sure because the data starts coming out. If you look, I don't have the data. I didn't see the data from Europe yet, but the data US shows that the growth of starting jobs has been shrinking in the past year. The growth of senior jobs stable
Yeah.
still, which means this is
for
true.
now.
For now, yeah. So which means this is true, right? So it means that the data shows
Yes.
that this is. There was an article on FT a couple of weeks back exactly about it. So this is true. So what can people do? It's a very good question. The future will definitely be orchestrating these tools. Will be how to use these tools. It's not about doing the task. It's about doing the role. What does your role entail? What business value can you bring? Because people, I'm a tech guy, right? I'm an engineer. And many engineers, they used to think, oh, let's build this amazing quality code. And the code is the end product.
Yeah.
It's not. The code is, okay, it's cool, but what pays your salary is the business problem that you're solving for someone. So someone pays your boss for you to build the code to solve their problem. And here is the same thing. The end is not, oh, I did an analysis because I learned how to do pivot tables, or I need to do regressions or whatever else. It's okay, what is the business problem I'm trying to solve?
What are you impacting?
And impact that metric, obviously. Now, why are we going to need that many people as before? We probably not, because if you look at Tata Consulting and a few other examples, you see people being cut. The future is interesting. I don't know what the future is, but if you look, Dario Amadei keeps saying we're all in a big problem in a few months. Elon Musk the same.
Yeah.
I'm not saying these are the smartest guys in the world. They're just famous. That's it.
Yeah.
But smarter people than me and them, economists, have been saying that we have a massive problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Do you have we have examples of companies, and obviously everyone talks about this because it gives us a lot of comfort. Companies like Klarna who fired a lot of people and just were like, oh my God, we fired too quickly. And like probably everyone doing one thing. I mean, in their case, it was client services. They fired everyone. They're now like, okay, we need to hire again because we need some humans in the loop. And so when this happens and people starting talking about this, they were like, yeah, so you see, we shouldn't fire. Blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's just giving people a bit of comfort, but there are a lot of companies, even here in the region, consulting is an amazing example, but not only, who are firing like thousands of people. And it seems to be the right decision because they are as well, so they are firing some people, but they are as well transforming the way the company is organizing, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have example of those? Or how do you think when you take the decision, when you make decision of like firing thousands of people, what should be the reorg? Like what should happen around this? It's not only about firing, right?
No, it's not about firing, but when you see the big companies and you say, oh, skill mismatch and whatever else they're using as excuses.
Yeah, of course.
There's a million examples. Okay, maybe not a million, but there's a few that I know top of mind. Tata Consulting Services. Last year, they claimed that they fired or they let go or whatever was the expression, 12,000 people, representing 2% of their workforce. If you read in Financial Times, they will tell you that it was 30,000 people because you need to account for forced firings and you need to account for attrition. If you read on Indian news, you're going to read 80,000 people because it's way worse. And they're not saying this, right? They tell their investors it was 12,000. Then if you look at the startups, there's a really cool company out of Israel called Swan, and they raised $6 million. They have 3 employees, and they on purpose do not hire anybody else.
Yeah.
Look at how BCG is doing, or PwC, on all these big companies. They are moving from time and materials into selling accelerators. Yeah. So now BCG, I think 20-ish% of their revenues comes from accelerators. And before they used to just sell people, and now they're selling software tools. Yeah. So it's really shifting from, oh, I sell people, to I sell a product. Yeah. So what profiles do I need to sell a product? Then you need product people. You don't just need consultants that come and do magical slides, because the slides today, honestly, you can do them in Gamma, or you can do them in whatever other tool. It's really about, again, what business problem are you solving? Why is your client going to pay you money to solve a problem? So what you need a product. You need product people. They were not there before. You look at McKinsey and they're Quantum Black, the same thing. They've been pushing more and more that. McKinsey, I'm less worried, right? Because we all know the type of work they do, and they're not going to be impacted that much.
No, I don't think so.
But the other ones,
But the others, the smaller ones, of course. And it's an interesting point, because I've heard, so obviously I worked a lot in consulting, so I know the field pretty well. And I see a lot of companies shifting into not only selling services, but selling a mix of product and service. Do you think the reason is actually because services is going to be what is the most impacted by AI, because this is what we are going to replace the most? But how do you see this company reorganizing? It's a complete shift of business model, right?
Complete. I think all the consulting companies have a massive problem, all of them, because you cannot. Now think about the model. The model before was, I have all these smart people in my consulting company. I'm going to go to big bank, big telco, big government, big whatever, that in theory don't have the expertise. And I'm going to sell massively expensive junior people at crazy rates, and they will be learning on the job to deliver something. And everybody knew this, but everybody closed their eyes, and nobody gets fired from buying from IBM, and those types of things, right? Now, the teams at these government institutions, big tech, big companies, they can go on ChatGPT and they can ask it, oh, please do me analysis of this document that before I need to get, this very specialized junior that never worked a day in his life, but appeared that in that meeting as the biggest expert in random, I don't know, in the region be oil and gas, right? Let's bring somebody. I just started 1 year ago, right? Now I can get the same from Gemini, from ChatGPT, from Claude, from the Chinese models, from, it's everywhere.
So what's going to be the differentiator, according to you, for people either entering the job market or in general? Because we are not entering the job market, but if you are today in a corporate position, you are at risk, whatever job you have. So what is for you the main differentiator? What is going to make you or so everyone else unique or important to keep, or
you need to understand
relevant?
So it's not about the tasks you do, because tasks don't matter much. It's about the role that you do. So it's about the knowledge you have about a specific role. If you're a CFO of a company, you're never going to get fired, right? You might get fired because it's something wrong, but you don't get fired because you are needed. A bunch of people in product, a bunch of people in engineering, they are going to be needed because they know what they're doing. Look at engineers. Engineers today, if they still think, and I'm an engineer by training, if you still think that you're going to write code, you're delusional. That is going to stop. Most of the jobs, most of the work today, it is not about writing code. It's about talking with an agent, and you explain to it, look, I want to build this interface. This is the technology. So it's not about, it's like a person that is using ChatGPT and says, oh, build me a document about how to get a job. It's going to be very generic, right? You need to be specific. So if you're an engineer and you're writing code, what you should be doing is, you are talking with these agents. They are building, but you need to tell it what is the architecture, what is the technology, why this architecture, how it connects. And then other engineers will validate that code. And I think it's a massive opportunity. For software engineering, it's a massive opportunity, and we are there today. Let me give you an example. You write code, right? And you write something 2 years ago, and now today there's a bug there because you realize there's a problem. Nobody remembers why on earth you did that stuff 2 years ago. Today, thanks to AI, you can create, when you write code, the ideal way, at least today, is you discuss with an agent a plan, and you decide what you're going to do. And by the way, this is valid for writing code or for anything else. If you want to do slides in Gamma, let's do a plan in Claude or whatever before, and then go and do it in Gamma. You do the plan, and that plan can be committed with the code, can be stored with the code. Which means in 2 years, somebody can go back and say, oh, this was the conversation this person that already left had with the agent, and this was the decisions they took. And before you could not do this, right? You're not recording all your meetings or all your chats over coffee. So that's massive. So it's really about that. The people that will add value are the ones that understand how everything connects. They understand the underlying business, and understanding the underlying business is essential. And you'll stay. I was in a dinner the other night with a bunch of CTOs here in the region, and somebody is saying that the CTO job is changing. Now you need to learn about the business. Yeah, but I had my own company before, like I was a tech guy. I needed to know about the business, but I always found this very funny. No, we're just technology. Who pays your salary? And again, it's not, it's not the fancy code.
It's funny because I see a lot the opposite. People telling me they have business background, they work in sales, they work in marketing, they work in, business, not technology at all. And they're telling me when I'm like, okay, guys, like, do you use AI? Are you interested in AI? And they're like, no, I'm not a tech guy. And I'm like, guys, this sentence doesn't exist anymore. So you have to, it's leading me to my next question, but we work in technology. We've been in AI, both of us for, in my case, 10 years, for your case, even more. So we are into this, we're excited about these words, etc. But there are a majority of people who, they never really faced any technology challenge at work because it's just not their job. And now they sometimes, but it's just a matter of education, but they think AI is actually something very technical, so they can't really look into this, etc. And my advice to them, whether they are teachers, marketeers, whatever, like any type of job, admin guys, etc. I'm like, okay, at least start reading, start practicing, start being curious about this topic, just to understand how it is going to impact you and how you can still be relevant in 20 years. I always use this example, but I went to a university a few months ago and I was training all the teachers about AI. And one of the guy, so smart, really like a professor in university here, he has a PhD, etc., etc. And at the end, he's 60 years old. And at the end, he told me, so imagine all the digital changes and revolutions he's seen during his career. And at the end, he was like, you know what, Margot, this wave, I'm just not going to take it. And I was like, yeah, I understand, like you started working, you didn't have enough internet, etc. But if you are less than 60 years old, you don't have this luxury of saying, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to look into this. I'm not going to try to include it in my job, etc. I don't know what is your advice for people in general on this topic, but my advice is really like, guys, start getting curious, start training yourself, start applying, start looking into this, start asking yourself the question, because none of us is going to be, everyone is going to be impacted by this.
Yeah, for sure. That professor is interesting. I was at uni. When I was at uni, there was a professor there that he studied with Einstein.
Yeah.
So like a machine, extremely smart. He taught physics and and he used to use slides, like, he used to write on this projector thing that was very old, and he kept doing that. He refused to change.
Yeah, I see exactly.
Which is crazy, right? Because they are very smart people, and they should realize that the world changed. Things are changing, and things are changing very fast, and it's just going to get worse. We are terrible at exponentials. We humans only understand linear stuff. And anything that is exponential in our heads, I give an example. It would not connect with AI, but it's still technology. Solar panels. There's this guy called Tony Seba. And Tony Seba made the forecast of pricing of solar panels 10 years ago. And the guy was right. And why was he right? Because he only considers exponentials. So he always uses exponentials in his forecasts. AI is, again, an exponential curve. People don't understand how fast it's moving. They don't understand that, Gwen just launched a model this week. Yeah. Last week, there was OpenAI something. The week prior, there was Nano Banana from Google. The week prior was whatever else,
it goes so fast, yeah.
It goes extremely fast. So if you just focus on your job and you don't try to understand, like there's basic things, right? Just using Copilot. Everybody has Copilot now because your company forces you to have Copilot.
Yeah.
Is it good? It's getting better.
Yeah, but at least it's there. And at least it's the first step you can take.
And like just doing basic stuff, like how can it help you? I don't know what you do, but if you do, analysis of data, if you need to search for information, Perplexity is amazing to search for information. Yeah. If I need to search for something, why would I go on Google and write and spend time, scrolling through links when I can ask Perplexity? It will give me the links also. People just need to think whatever they are doing, what can AI help? And the magic of AI today is really about not the magic, people see of videos on the internet and the singing cat videos and dancing cats and whatever not. It's about process automation. Where it can make a massive impact today is process automation. You have a process that you do. You move that process into NA10 or to make.com, and you just don't need to do that process anymore. Like, I don't know, let's say support. There's a company here in the Middle East that they solve half their support tickets in 1 second at the cost of 1 cent, with an NPS higher than humans.
Yeah.
It's 40% or 40, almost 50% of their support tickets, which means they don't need to hire a bunch of people, and they can scale massively. So if you're working, I don't know, in a company and you're doing support, why don't you put a process in place where you use N8N? And by the way, it's extremely easy to use. Or make.com, you drag and drop the emails, they go there, an AI agent analyzes it, and it either sends to you to check it because it might need a human, or it might be a stupid, easy to solve question like, I had so many of these in my company. What is the expiration date of whatever? Yeah, but the expiration date of whatever is written on your, in your account. You can click here, here, and here, and that's where you see it. Or you can automatically get it, and you just send to the email, say, look, you can see it in this location, but here's the value for you. And it's automatic.
Yeah.
Right? So all this workflow, and everybody has workflows. Everybody can optimize their workflows.
Yeah. That's very true. And and as well, automation is about, it will be another discussion, but sometimes people are like, yeah, let's put AI everywhere. And you're like, you just need to automate a few things and it's already going to change your job and your life. But anyway, one last question on the jobs themselves. We talk a lot about service jobs in general who are going to be impacted, obviously, pretty much all jobs, but these ones to start with, I guess. What are, if you had like maybe 2 or 3 jobs that are jobs that exist already, not future jobs, that you think are the ones that are adding a lot of value and that are going to survive in the future? Do you have some in mind?
Human jobs, where you need a human on the other side.
So which ones, for example?
So statistics says what I'm going to, so doctors. Yeah. Doctors, they're on the other side. And the better doctors have better outcomes. Mm-hmm. So whenever you have a surgery, you should do it in the morning. Never do it in the afternoon, because on average it goes bad or goes worst. Yeah. And if you have a nice doctor in front of you, the outcomes are better. We can replace doctors today. Well, not today yet, but we're getting there, right? Radiologists, you have software that replaces radiologists.
Yeah, all the diagnostic
stuff disappears. But what matters is the human, because the human on the other side is the one that's going to explain to you what problem you have and how you can fix it. That is going to be there for a while.
Plus, I mean, this is a very, very particular situation, I think, because let's say you have a disease or something, this is the moment where you need empathy. You need a human touch, even physical human touch. So yeah, okay, that's a good one. Can you think about another one?
Oh, there's many of them. So I don't know if you saw the Chinese New Year's celebration and the videos of the robots dancing.
I saw it. Yeah.
So all the plumbers and all these crafts. Yeah, they are going to continue for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
They will be replaced eventually also with robots, right? But the robots will take a bit longer than replacing a graphical designer to do a random web page. Yeah. So human stuff, whatever is human stuff, it will make sense. But when I say human stuff, it's not investment advisors.
No.
That's for sure not, because because there was an article on Financial Times the other day. An investment advisor wrote about it, and he was saying, I just asked ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, whatever, and they're all different, but they all give me the same advice that I would give. And still, the investment advisor, no, but we need a human touch. But no, you don't. You don't.
No, you absolutely don't. I agree with you. And any corporate job? The answer can be no.
It's difficult. People's jobs are going to stay. And the sales, the person that goes and does the sales, the final sales. So if you're, enterprise sales, enterprise sales for sure, again, it's a human job. Humans sell to humans, people sell to people. Yeah. If you really stretch this, those are the ones that will survive till the end. The other ones will be the senior that will be orchestrating all these AI tools. Again, you don't need a team of product engineers, product people building a feature. Yeah. You don't need that bunch of people. You don't need to have 3 designers. You could today have 1, or you can have 0, depending on if your product person is good enough to use UX Pilot, to use Figma Make. So it's it will be an interesting couple of years coming.
Yeah. I think so too. And the challenge is that it goes very, very fast. So it's difficult to predict, but at the same time, we're talking about next year, the next 2-3 years. So very, very scary a bit for a lot of people. Okay, just for the word of the end on this topic. So what is really according to you, like your deep conviction, what is the uncomfortable truth about the future of job? When people ask us about, is my job going to disappear? What is going to be my future, etc.? What's the conviction you want to share on this?
If you're adding value, if you're solving a problem and not doing a task, if you understand very well the field that you're in, you are going to survive for a while longer. If you are doing a task that can be automated, and there are many tasks that can be automated today, it will be very difficult that the company that hires you will keep paying you. Because why would they, right? So the uncomfortable truth is that So the orchestrators are going to be there, the people that control this whole thing. Everybody else will have a massive problem, and it's coming. Again, it's worrying, but it's going to come, and it's going to come faster and faster. There's no way that this is going to. The cat is out of the box. There's no way this is going to stop.
No. So what do we do?
What we do, smart people are going to survive again.
But what is smart? Who is smart?
People, that's a good question. I was asked the same because I keep using smart when I say, well, who should I recruit? I always say smart people. People that are able to solve problems.
Yeah.
People that get stuck in a box, those will struggle in the age of AI. But if you're able to adapt, if you're able to solve problems, you're going to survive. Even the young people that live in universities, the ones that adapt quicker, the ones that are able to find solutions. Because what you care about
problem
is not
solvers.
Problem solvers.
Yeah.
So those will be fine. And problem solvers with AI, they are multiplied by 10, by 100, by whatever is the number, because they have the right mindset to work on things. They are going to ask AI. AI is going to say, oh, you can do this, this, and this. And they pick, okay, this is the one I want.
Yeah.
This option I want to go. But yeah, again, as all these famous AI guys keep saying, we are going to have a massive problem. How it gets solved, that's it's up to governments, because it's us. We're not going to. We cannot do anything.
No, already you're trying to.
Like we can educate people. You can tell them, look, start using ChatGPT if you never use it, or Gemini. Gemini is on Google. Everybody has a Google account. You don't even need to, give money to OpenAI.
Yeah.
Go on Gemini, use Claude. See what it can do. Ask it questions. Ask it how to cook a recipe.
Yeah, start.
Yeah, ask it, I don't know, ask it how to do pancakes. And you'll realize it's going to give you multiple versions of pancakes. Then, it can give you the steps of pancakes. And you think, okay, it can do pancakes better than me. Nice. What else can it tell me how to do?
Yeah.
And just start somewhere. You need to start.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, Luis.